As a futures prop firm trader, you may scroll through multiple prop firms and wonder to yourself which one is the best one. And in this video, we are going to cover all of them and really answer the question of which prop firm you should choose. We're going to be rating all the prop firms on a tier list, and we're going to be going over Alpha, Apex, Lucid, My Funded Futures, Take Profit Trader, TopStep, Tradeify, and Funded Next. We're going to be ranking based on pricing and rules. And before this video starts, I just want to mention I am not sponsored or affiliated with any firms, so this is going to be completely unbiased. With that being said, let's get straight into it. So for our first firm, we're going to be ranking Alpha Futures. Alright, so right off the bat, I just want to say my personal experience with this firm has been dog shit, but we're going to try to be super unbiased today. So let's look at their accounts. Alright, so right off the bat, we can see that they have 4 different types of accounts: the zero accounts, the standard accounts, their direct accounts, and their advanced accounts. Alright, so for the sake of the video, we're only going to be sticking with 50k accounts. So first, let's start off with their zero plan. So $139 a month for 50k eval. Right off the bat, terrible pricing for these zero accounts. It's a 1-day pass account. Again, 3k profit target, 2k max drawdown, 3 minis, max sizing. There's a 1k daily loss limit and 0 consistency rule. So I think the benefit of these accounts is that you can pass in 1 day, and that's about it. I don't think that really makes up for the $139 price tag for 50k, but let's see their funded rules. So a $1,500 max payout, 40% consistency rule, and 5 minimum trading days. So these accounts are really not that good. Like, they have normal rules, but just for the price, it is really not worth it with all the other firms out there and all the other options. Let's look at their standard accounts. So their standard accounts are cheaper than their zero accounts by, I think it was $7. No, $10. And the main difference is that there's a consistency rule for the eval stage and 2 minimum days. Alright, so let's look at their qualified rules now. So it is the same exact thing, except you have a 3k max payout and a 40% consistency rule, which is actually the same as a zero. So it really doesn't make up for the price difference when you can get an extra 1500 and there's no buffer required. So honestly, there's zero accounts, I would just stay away from them. Unless you really want to pass in 1 day, then sure, I guess, but 1 day difference is not really the biggest deal in the world. So let's look at their direct accounts now. So this basically just means that there is no eval, you just go straight onto funded. And their 50ks are $500. And profit target is 3k for the first payout and then 2,000 after. You have an end of day loss limit, so that's 2k. Or sorry, this is the max loss limit and it updates end of day, and that's 2k. You have 4 minis, max position, 1k daily loss limit, a 20% consistency rule, and a 2k max payout. So I'm pretty sure compared to other firms, this direct account is pretty trash, but let's look at their advanced. So 50k advanced is $209 a month, 3 minimum trading days, 4k profit target, 1700 maximum drawdown, no daily loss limit, and a 40% consistency rule. And they actually have a max payout of 15k with 5 minimum trading days, and no consistency rule, no daily loss limit, no resets, no max drawdown, still the same. Honestly, looking at these accounts, this is actually pretty crazy, because this just fully removes all restrictions and you can get 15k payout with one of these accounts. So if you just spread that profit target amongst 5 days, obviously 15k is a huge max payout to get with a $1,700 max drawdown. But if you're a pretty good trader, then I'd say this is actually a pretty insane account. That 15k payout is insane, but it would be very hard to do with that maximum drawdown. Alright, so my final ranking of Alpha Futures, Obviously that last account is pretty insane, but I'd say for every other account, it really just isn't worth the price, and the rules are not that good. So obviously, if you're going to be copy trading, then you want to get alpha. But I'd say if you really just want to stick to one prop firm, maybe you're a beginner, I would not go with Alpha Futures. They have also been getting a lot of backlash lately just because they've been denying payouts and they really just fell off. And in all honesty, I've been having a terrible experience with them since like 2025. I do not like Alpha Futures. Again, I'm trying to be super unbiased, but I just went through the accounts with you. And when we go through all the other accounts, then you will come to see that Alpha Futures is really not that good. With that being said, they aren't terrible. They're still like a mid tier prop firm. So I would put them probably at a solid C tier. C and B, like somewhere between there. If there was a middle, I would put it right smack down in the middle. It is probably the most mid prop firm out there. Alright, so next up we have Apex Trader Funding. Alright, so I got a lot to say about this firm, honestly. It's a very interesting one because Apex honestly does stand out a lot from every other prop firm with their unique rules, and honestly just they have some crazy features, but there's also so many cons. But let's see if the pros do outweigh the cons. So right off the bat, if you see at the top, you can see 90% off all evals, and this is basically a constant thing with Apex, and this is part of their marketing. They always have 90% off or advertise that they're 90% off, so it looks like you're getting a deal. But this is just a part of their strategy. You get kind of like tricked by paying a really high activation fee. So let's just go through them and I'll show you some examples. So honestly, since March, as you can see here, they have improved a lot. I was with them for a few months and I took payouts with them. So let's go through their accounts. And right off the bat, I just want to say I have heard that their reputation has been fixed from denying payouts constantly, having really slow payouts as well. I've heard that their reputation with that has improved a lot, so we're going to kind of give them a point for that because now they do seem to have fixed a lot of their issues. But let's go through their accounts. So they only have one type of account, two types of accounts. This was recently introduced, again, March 1st, 2026. And you can actually customize your accounts a lot. So if you see with the most standard account, these are only $16, but you do have to pay an activation fee. I believe, let's see how much it is, $59 for a 25K. Let's go on a 50K, $59. So that actually has gotten a lot cheaper since I used to be with them. It used to be like $70. So that's $24 for 50K with intraday and standard. Obviously, we do not want intraday, so we're going to do end of day. So standard is $55 for 50K. And that's a $139 activation fee. So you can see that's how they kind of get you with the cheap accounts, and then automatically, boom, you have to pay that huge activation fee. If you did intraday, it would still be $59. So end of day does make a huge difference, but it's just terrible going with intraday. It really just ruins trading. So let's see, if we wanted to go with no activation fee, then we would pay $119 for a 50K. So let's take a look at the rules. And right off the bat, Apex is notorious for full porting their accounts. Like you can hop on an account, pass in one day, boom. So this is already way cheaper than Alpha's zero account, which is the 1 day pass. And there's a 1K daily loss limit, end of day drawdown. It's honestly not bad. And you also have 6 minis. And the performance account, so you need to activate it 7 days after you pass your eval, 5 trading days, 50% consistency rule, and 20 max accounts. So this is where Apex really is a deal breaker. This is like the deal breaker for Apex. You can have up to 20 accounts, and the max payout with these accounts, I believe, is 2K. Yeah, it is 2K. So that is just crazy. So if you got max payout across 20 accounts with Apex, that is 40K payout, which is absolutely insane. So the cons is that you do have to build a buffer, like you are required to build one. But again, with this 20 account rule, it's pretty insane. Like I would want to just get 20 accounts and then stick with the firm. Once the buffer is built, it'll be way easier. But yeah, these accounts honestly are not that terrible. They have improved a lot. There used to be a 30% consistency rule, and the payout frequency used to be 8 trading days, and 5 of those trading days must be wins. So it used to be honestly like very terrible, but they have fixed the rules quite a bit, and it is honestly a pretty solid firm now. And that 20 max accounts is honestly like the biggest positive with this firm. And if you are a very experienced trader, copy trading with 20 accounts, going with Apex, adding that to your Tradecopia or TradeSyncer, it would make such a huge difference in your payouts. So let's go and give our final rating for Apex. Alright, so with that all being said, what do I rate Apex? So I think that Apex honestly is a pretty solid firm. They have improved a lot. Honestly, I would not recommend it for beginners because this was the first ever eval that I passed and got a payout with, and I can say it was a very difficult and long process because I wasn't very comfortable with sizing up. That buffer was just too much. I'm not sure if there's a required buffer anymore. Probably is, but it honestly, it doesn't matter. If you're a very like experienced trader and you just want to start scaling and get more payouts, I think you need to get Apex accounts. And for that, I'm going to give Apex an A tier because their accounts are not quite as good as other firms, but that 20 max accounts is just it's insane. And the rules are pretty solid. Their accounts aren't too expensive. Obviously, as you saw, they're cheaper than Alpha Futures for the same exact account. And yeah, so A tier for Apex. Good firm. I would say beginners stick to other firms. More advanced traders, you may want to consider adding Apex into your prop firm rotation. So with that being said, let's move on to the next firm. Next up, we have what seems to be everybody's favorite firm right now, Lucid. Alright, so without a doubt, one of the best prop firms right now is Lucid. I actually have had an account with them one time. I haven't returned to them, but I am definitely looking to return to Lucid in the near future. So right off the bat, as you can see, something that Lucid is very popular for is their 15-minute average payout time. They have super fast payouts. They're also partnered with TradeC now, which is kind of like the new Project X. I've heard some good things about them, also some bad things. I know there was an outage with them recently, but it looks to be pretty solid. And let's just look at their accounts, honestly. Now, there is one type of account that isn't on here. I believe it's Lucid Max, but those are given out exclusively, and they're a very, they're just an exclusive account. So we're not going to be counting that. So let's go right off the bat. So first, we're going to be looking at Lucid Pro. So, let's do, obviously, with the daily loss limit off, and we'll also do on. So 50K has end of day drawdown, daily loss limit 1200, no activation fee, pass in 1 day, and obviously these are not rebuild, these are one-time payment, so you can take as long as you want to pass. So it's 140 with no daily loss limit. With daily loss limit, it's 115. It's a $1,200 daily loss limit. Honestly, it's a pretty good, I'd say it's fair price. I think it's a little bit too overpriced for no daily loss limit. But let's just check the funded rules. So you need 3 days to pay out, 4 minis, 40% consistency. And then you have the daily loss limit, 60% of the peak end of day balance. So this is a little bit confusing, but your payout profit target, so I'm pretty sure this is the minimum payout, is 500. And I'm not sure what the max payout is, it doesn't really say. I'm assuming it's 1.5 or 2K. But yeah, this is the whole account. And again, as you can see here, it's 5 payouts to live. I'm pretty sure most prop firms are 5 to 6. Sometimes they move earlier if they see you're doing really good. But yeah, these accounts are not too bad, honestly. But let's move on to the most popular account, the Lucid Flex. So right off the bat, as you can see, Lucid Flex is, I believe, how many days to pass? Oh no, it's just a 50% consistency rule. So you can pass in 2 days, 3K profit target, 2K max loss limit. Without a daily loss limit, it's 105, and then with a daily loss limit, it's 90. So these accounts are super affordable. And end of day drawdown, day loss limit 1200, 50% consistency, and then funded rules. Again, no activation fee, one-time payment. And this is where it really shines. So there's no consistency rule for the funded. I believe you have a 2K max payout, 2K max loss limit, no daily loss limit, no consistency, 5 winning days of $150. And yeah, this is honestly a super good account, and it's super affordable, as you can see. You can choose to go with no daily loss limit, so that'll be 90, or daily loss limit 105. Those are both extremely affordable, and I'd say if you are a beginner, these accounts are really good because you can take your time with them. The rules are pretty easy to follow. I don't know if you have to build a buffer with them. I'm not sure. I'm assuming that you probably don't, because it doesn't say anything about building a buffer here, and you only need 5 days of 150 to request a payout. So honestly, very solid account. Yeah, super beginner friendly. Let's move on to Lucid Daily. And I'm not sure. Oh, okay. So these are like the alpha daily payout accounts, I'm pretty sure. Or there was some type of daily payout account, I'm pretty sure, that we went over. And this is Lucid's version. So with this, you can again select end of day drawdown or intraday. Obviously, we're going to want end of day. Daily loss limit, we're going to want no daily loss limit. And that is $119 for this account. And if you went with intraday and daily loss limit, which I really don't recommend, it would only be 76. But we're just going to go with the better rules. So again, 50% consistency, no consistency in funded, daily payouts, and that's where this account really stands out. So you can request daily payouts. The twist is that once you do get on that funded, it is an intraday trailing drawdown, which is not good at all. Because that means if you get break even on a trade that you're really high up on, you're going to be set in drawdown. So you really have to be careful. But again, daily payouts, they have to get you somewhere. There's no daily loss limit, which is good. 4 minis. I'm not sure what the payout cap is, but again, it's daily payouts, so you can probably just take whatever you earn. So honestly, these accounts are not too bad. I'd say if you want to go for smaller trades, smaller sizing, smaller positions, take partials, then these accounts can be very good. And even if you take like a $200 payout or $300 payout off of one win, that's still solid. That's a $200, $300 day, and then it goes right into your account. And then finally, Lucid Direct. This is just no eval, so you can skip that eval and go straight to funded. So these rules are honestly kind of, I really wouldn't go for these accounts. It's kind of pointless because we have the accounts where you can pass in 1 day and then 2-day pass. And it's pretty easy to pass these accounts too. I really don't recommend going for Lucid Direct. But other than that, yeah, that is Lucid. So what I want to say is that Lucid, honestly, very good firm. The hype is, it's not fake hype. It's not just, all affiliates putting it out. It is a very solid firm. And I'd say really like it's definitely a contender for being one of the top firms out right now. They always have good deals, so right now there's a 40% off going on. The Lucid Flex and Lucid Pro, these three accounts I'd say really stick out, but more specifically Lucid Flex. If you're a beginner, this is probably one of the best accounts out that you can get. Lucid Daily, pretty good if you want to get daily payouts. Lucid Pro, just good all around account. And yeah, this firm has really built up a good reputation for paying out and having good accounts. So with that being said, let's move on to the final ranking. All right. So with that being said, we've gone over Lucid. They're affordable, beginner friendly, good for advanced traders as well. Great rules. So this is going straight into the S tier. Honestly, one of the best firms out. There's only one other firm that I can really see competing with Lucid, which we'll go on to later out of one of these. And they're just a super solid pick. If you're a beginner, I definitely recommend going with Lucid. So with that being said, let's move on to our next prop firm. So up next, we have My Funded Futures. Alright, so right off the bat, I've actually never been with this firm, so I have no clue how it kind of goes being funded with them or having an eval with them, so like service and stuff. But this is a very popular firm, and I believe that they have a great reputation in payouts, their rules, and honestly, their site looks very nice. So let's scroll and look through their accounts. So obviously, we're gonna go with 50K, and I like how all of these accounts are just laid out in one place for you, like sorted out by size. So also, they have a lot of trading platforms. I've actually never seen this. They have DeepChart, which is this order flow software that's pretty sure it's one of the best. Again, then Tradeovate, stuff like that. So let's go with their builder accounts first. So it's $63 a month. And it's a 1-day pass, 3K profit target, max drawdown 1.5 or 2K. I'm not sure what that means. Let's click and take a look. So I believe you can pick. Let's see. All right, so let's take a look. So builder plan, 50K, it's $76. So you can actually choose if you want a $1,500 max limit or a 2K max limit, and you can get a cheaper account. I really don't think it's worth losing an extra $28 just to get or to lose $500 in drawdown. Sorry. Yeah, it's really not worth that because again, 1,500 is very tight drawdown to work with on a 50K. So 2K, just would want to stick with that. And let's see their perks and features. So 1 day to pass, 2 days to be eligible for a payout. Payout frequency is 2 days, and you need a $2,100 buffer. So let's see the rules. So there's no activation fee. Again, end of day drawdown. Daily drawdown is 1K. 4 cons. No consistency. Payouts 2 days. Minimum payout is 5K. Max payout is 2K. 80% profit split and a 2.1K buffer needed. So, honestly, this is a very solid account. I'm a huge fan of this account. I'm not sure how much the max account sizing is. I'm guessing you can have up to 5 accounts. But I also do have a discount code. Without the discount code, it is 153. But from what I think that there's always discount codes if I'm not wrong. But if it was to be this discount code, or like always on discount, 50% off, which a lot of firms do. They always have like 40 or 50% off discounts. So with the discounts, it's a very solid account. So for $76, honestly, that's one of the best prices for any prop firm I've seen. So I would actually recommend this account to beginners. It is a very beginner-friendly account. The only thing I'd complain about is the buffer. Sometimes it's annoying as a beginner to build a buffer. But if you're a more experienced trader, this is a great account. So let's look at their other accounts. So we have their Rapid account. So right here, 78 bucks, 157 originally without the discount. And let's see the rules. So no activation fee. They have a 90% profit split, zero activation fee, daily payouts, 500 minimum up to 10K in profit per day, no daily loss limit, end of day drawdown, and 5 cons. So honestly, these rules look pretty solid. You only need 1 day to get a payout. You can get a $500 payout. Of course, you do have to build that buffer. 2K max drawdown. It says drawdown mode is real time. So I'm not sure if they mean intraday by that or end of day. I'm guessing that means intraday, which is would be normal for daily payout account. And their eval also, it's just regular rules. There's nothing really crazy about that. So this is honestly the same as those Lucid daily payout accounts. I think this is cheaper with the discount code. Without, I'm pretty sure Lucid is still cheaper. I think the rules are basically the exact same. So this is still a solid account. It's just that intraday is a little bit annoying, but if you're an experienced trader, then this is a good account. Oh, what I will say though is that on Lucid, I believe you do not have to build this buffer. So this, if that applies to Lucid as well, which I don't think it does, then My Funded Futures does lose a point on that. So let's move on to the Rapid end of day account. So it's 125, but there's no discount code, so it is 157. This is a limited time account, so I'm not even going to cover that one. We'll go with the Pro plan. So Pro plan, 113 with a coupon, 227 without. So you can add on 1 day to pass for free. And let's look at the rules. So the eval is a 4K profit target, 2K max drawdown, end of day drawdown, 3 cons, 14 days to pay out, minimum 1K payout. I'm not really sure what's good about this account. There's zero activation fee. Okay. Now I see. There's 100K request per user for these accounts. So that is a huge payout that you can take. 100K cap is insane. And 3 consecutive payouts, you get to move to live. Honestly, these accounts they seem okay. I don't know what that 14 days to payout is. That's a little bit crazy. But other than that, there's end of day drawdown, daily drawdown. I'd say just because of that max payout, then that could make up for the account, because 100K payout cap is pretty insane. But again, most people aren't going to go with this plan. So it isn't the best. I wouldn't really recommend it. But from what I've seen, their builder plan is pretty good. Rapid plan is decent. So let's go on with the final rating. Okay, so My Funded Futures, their builder plan is pretty good. I'm not sure how often these discounts happen, but a lot of prop firms, they have pretty frequent discounts. So I'd say if you get those accounts for the prices that I just showed, My Funded Futures is a solid A-tier prop firm. The only downsides is it's a little bit not beginner friendly with that buffer. But the account rules are pretty solid. It's solid pricing, solid account rules. They have a good rep. So I'd say if you are a beginner, My Funded Futures, you could go with it. And if you are a more advanced trader, you definitely want to add this prop firm into that prop firm rotation and copy trade. So now let's move on to our next prop firm. Alright, so up next we have Take Profit Trader. I'm going to stop doing the picture thing and then moving on to the site. I'm going to just go on the sites now. So right off the bat, Take Profit Trader, pretty popular firm. I have no experience with them, so we're going to be going over this together. So here are the rules. Take Profit, comparing to other companies, I'd say these are pretty cherry picked with bad firms, so I don't believe any of this. But let's go down. So I think they do only have one account type. I'm trying to keep, yeah, I think they only do have one account type if I'm not wrong. So it's either 50K. So 50k, it's 170 bucks, already pretty pricey. No daily loss limit, end of day trailing drawdown, and 6 contracts. So I'm gonna try to see if I can find any more or if they have any more type of accounts. Alright, so I'm actually pretty blind. This is their different accounts. So I believe this is just this eval. So you can have as many evals as you want. There's basically like no like crazy rules for the eval. Like it's pretty you have a lot of space to move. So there's no daily loss limit, no oh wait, there is a consistency rule which is not even mentioned here. It's honestly kind of hard to find anything on their site without signing up. But their pro, which I'm assuming is once you pass, you can take payouts in one day, up to 5 accounts, 80-20 profit split. You do need a buffer, intraday, trailing drawdown. Yeah, so just looking at everything, honestly, there's better options than TPT. This is not that good of a firm. I'm pretty sure, yeah, once you pass, that is, you do have to be on intraday. There's no option to go on end of day. Pro Plus is their live. So they do only have this one type of account. So you can't kind of customize like other firms or look at different accounts like end of day, maybe instead of intraday. This is all their rules, just locked. Honestly, the only benefit I can see about this is that there is no maximum withdrawal amount, which is pretty good. But again, intraday it's a big deal breaker. Like it just kind of brings the prop firm down. So let's move on to the final ranking of Take Profit Trader. All right, so TPT, I'd say there's no reason to go on TPT unless you want to copy trade across multiple firms. Other than that, kind of mid, honestly. I don't really like the rules. Other than that, no payout cap. That is a pretty solid rule. So I'd say maybe if you are a more advanced trader, TPT is a good firm to be with. If you're a beginner, there's so many better options. So I'm going to have to put TPT on the B tier. It is still better than Alpha Futures, but it is not the best. So let's move on to our next firm. All right, for the next firm, we got TopStep. So this is honestly like the Nike of prop firms. Everybody knows TopStep. This was like the most popular firm back in like 2025. You know, TopStep was like the main baseline. Like, and honestly, they have kind of built their reputation back up, but you know, recently, like end of 2025, start of 2026, they really destroyed their reputation that they spent years building. So let's just go through the rules now. I'm not sure if they have any. Okay, yeah, they're on here. So let's see their accounts. So one thing TopStep was notorious for is their huge activation fee, but there's no activation fee accounts now. And I am aware that there's some type of new account on TopStep Lab. We're not going to be going over that because I still haven't done much research about it. My first ever eval was actually with TopStep, my first ever funded that I've ever purchased. And some things that I can say right off the bat is that Project X is a super good platform. I know there's a lot of outages. They're kind of like really well known for that. I'm not sure if they've been fixing it or kind of like fix that issue, but Project X would go out a lot. But it was just a great platform. So that's the only thing that you can use with TopStep. You have to trade on Project X. Not a big issue, to be honest, but let's see their 50k accounts. So it's 49 bucks with the $150 activation fee. 3k profit target, 50% consistency, 2k max loss limit, 5 minis, and then let's see how to earn a payout. So to get a payout, you need to have 5 winning days of $150, so same as Lucid Flex, and it's a 4k payout cap, so it's doubled. And you can also do consistency, which you can qualify in little as 3 days, and you have to keep your best day within 40% of total profit. So your highest earning day can't be 40% of your end balance when you request that payout. if that makes sense. So let's go to their no activation fee accounts, which is 85, which obviously for an extra 35, I just go with the 50K and no activation fee. Sorry. So again, same rules: 3K payout, 50% consistency rule, 2K max loss limit, and there is a 1K daily loss limit, and double payout caps included. There is a discount right now. So this is honestly a pretty solid account. Yeah, 4K, 6K payout. This is a pretty solid account, and I didn't even notice this. You can switch between responsible trading and not. I'm not sure what this does. Oh, that's just for the payout cap, if I'm not wrong. But it seems to be cheaper. I don't know. But TopStep is pretty good. They're a pretty good firm. They have kind of ruined their reputation recently, but I believe they are building it back. And I think that they're solid again. I'm not sure. I literally was only with them once. I never got another account again because there's just better options. But let's just give a final rating on TopStep. Alright, so TopStep, honestly, it's not the best firm anymore. There was a point in time where TopStep was literally like the most popular firm. You had to be with them. It was just the baseline for prop firms. Like, it was the safe choice. And honestly, I think that they are still pretty solid. There's just better options out there. If you're a beginner, I really just recommend any bunch of other prop firms. If you're a more advanced trader and you want to add TopStep to your copy trader, so you can copy trade with multiple firms, then yeah, it's worth going with TopStep. The rules are decent. It's just a normal prop firm. Honestly, I like to think of TopStep as like the baseline or like the average. So I'm gonna put it at a B tier because they do have a great reputation, but they kind of just got buried with all the controversy and other firms taking over and introducing much crazier rules. So let's move on to the next firm. And the next firm is Tradeify. So right off the bat, this site looks crazy, and this caught my eye. It says a crypto prop firm, which I've honestly never seen before. We're not going to be going over this, but this is just, I've literally never seen this before. But yeah, their site looks pretty insane. 0% payout denial. And yeah, let's just go through their accounts. So right off the bat, this looks great. They have TradeC, which is nice. They have Wealth Charts, which is probably the worst platform that you can trade with. Never get this bullshit. Got an Apex account with Wealth Charts one time, and I literally just blew it on purpose because it was so bad. But yeah, let's go through the growth first. So this is the most popular account. So it is $87. They have 40% off 5-time use, then 30% off. Again, I'm guessing with all these prop firms, they always have discounts running. So I'm gonna just use a discount price. But yeah, $87 the discount, $145 normally. So 3K, 2K, like baseline. They do have a daily loss limit. No consistency and no activation fee though, which is nice. And then let's see, once you're funded, you can get a payout every 5 days. 35% consistency, $1,200 daily loss limit, and 5 max accounts. So honestly, this account is like, it's not too good, just because of that 35% consistency rule, and there's a daily loss limit, which isn't too big of a problem, but that consistency rule is, unless I'm assuming you do not have to build a buffer. If you do not have to build a buffer, it's honestly it's not that big of a issue. But it's just all around an okay account. So let's see their select accounts now. So this one's $100, $165 normally. No daily loss limit, 40% consistency. And then let's see their funded rules. So you can actually pick if you want a daily or flex. So their flex 5 days to pay out, 3K max payout, no consistency, no daily loss limit, and end of day drawdown. This is honestly a great account. I like this account a lot. And the daily is the same exact price as the flex. And the only difference is that you have a 1K daily loss limit, 0 consistency, and max payout of 1K. honestly, this is a great account. This daily select account is great. I 100% would get the dailies or the flex. Both of them are very solid. I think if you are going to pick an account, the select would be the best. Because this daily, it really it doesn't have intraday or a crazy consistency rule, which is insane. Like from what we've seen in this video, all the daily payout prop firms, they all have some type of rule that makes it insanely hard, but they don't for Tradeify, which is pretty fire. So then we have Lightning, which is just insta funding, $295, 492 regularly, 20% consistency rule, 5 max accounts, 5-day payout frequency, 1250 max loss limit. Again, to me, it's not worth it to get this account when you have accounts that you could pass in one day, or also this daily payout account. So it's really not worth getting the Lightning. I think that the Select is the best account. Either or, daily or flex, they're both pretty solid. Daily is, honestly, this one stuck out a lot to me. So let's just go with the final rating of Tradeify. Alright, so Tradeify, I'm honestly impressed. Those accounts are pretty solid, I'm not gonna lie. Especially with the discount going on right now. It beats prices like My Funded Futures. And it's competing pretty well with Lucid. Honestly, with those discounts, it is competing pretty well. So I really want to rate Tradeify I'm going to give it an S tier. Honestly, I'm going to give it an S tier. Actually, I'll give it a high A tier. So it's baseline being S tier, but it's not quite there. I'd say that Tradeify looks pretty good for both beginners and advanced traders. Those daily accounts really are they make the firm stick out. So I'd say a high A tier is pretty fair. Literally right under S tier. I'd just say with their first account, I forgot what it was called. That kind of it's whatever. But their flex accounts are pretty good, like their daily and flex account. So Tradeify A tier. Honestly, it could be S tier. I'm gonna just put it at A tier. But yeah, let's move on to the final firm. Alright, and last but not least, we have my personal favorite firm, Funded Next Futures. So right off the bat, all I have to say is there are some crazy accounts that you can get with not My Funded Futures, Funded Next Futures. So let's go through them right now. And first of all, let's look at the flex accounts. So it is $70 for a flex account. And obviously this is with the discount code, but they do have, I'm pretty sure they always have some type of discount going on. So I'm not sure why it's saying 133. It's $70 with the code. So let's look at their challenge rules. 2,500 profit target, 1,500 max loss limit with end of day drawdown. Yeah, so they got an end of day drawdown, no daily loss limit, 40% consistency rule, and 3 minis in sizing. And their funded rules, you have 5 days to pay out, 1,500 max loss limit, no daily loss limit, no consistency rule, and 95% reward share with 1,500 max payout. So right off the bat, this is low-key a little bit different from other firms because the drawdown is moved up by 500, but the profit target is moved down by 500. So it is easier to pass, but also easier to blow. But yeah, honestly, it's a solid account. This is very, very competitive with Lucid Flex. I'd say it's better than Lucid Flex. But yeah, let's look at their legacy accounts. So it's $200 for a 50K. Honestly, this is the worst account to get with them. Eval rules are kind of just all baseline, 40% consistency rule, no daily loss limit, regular profit targets, and then their funded rules, 5 days, no daily loss limit, no consistency rule, 6K max payout, which is pretty solid actually, and 80% reward share. So I'd say these accounts, honestly, max payout is pretty good, but it's just not worth it. And we're going to be looking at the accounts that actually make this firm stand out insanely. So we have right here the Funded Next Rapid accounts. So they're 50% off right now. So it's only 170 for 50K. So the Rapid Pro, it's a 1-day pass, no day loss limit, no consistency rule. You pass it in 1 day. And then their funded rules are 3 days to get a payout, no daily loss limit, 40% consistency rule, 1,200 max payout, and a 90% reward share. So this account is good if you want to get a fast payout, but the accounts that really stick out are the daily accounts. So to pass a daily, again, it's the same exact thing as the pro. It's a 1-day pass with the same exact rules. And then there are daily payouts, a 1K daily loss limit, 2K max loss limit, no consistency rule, 90% reward share, and 1,200 maximum withdrawal. So this is a pretty crazy account because you can get up to 5 of these and just rinse and repeat them, because you can get a payout in 2 days with them. You can get max payout in 2 days. And with 50Ks, stack 5 accounts. And it's absolutely insane. You can just rinse and repeat with these accounts, get payout every 2 days. And honestly, if you want fast payouts, the Rapids are very good. But if you're a beginner or you just want to stick with the firm long term, the Flex and the Legacy are insane. Now, one thing I will say is that with the Rapid accounts, you're not required to build a buffer, but the account does blow right after you build the buffer. So yeah, it is kind of made to like get a fast payout or rinse and repeat with them. But honestly, Funded Next, very good firm. And let's just give the final rating. And so last but not least, final ranking. Funded Next, I'm currently with them. Again, I'm not affiliated with any of these firms, so this is unbiased. What I can say about Funded Next is that it's super good for beginners, advanced traders, people looking to get a fast payout. It is a great all-around firm. I like their like dashboard UI a lot. And yeah, I think that honestly, Funded Next is one of the best firms out there right now. And I'm gonna have to give it an S tier. I believe that it is pretty equal with Lucid. I think that they are the 2 best firms out right now. And yeah, that is the entire ranking. So final verdict, I also did move Take Profit Trader down to C tier. I do not think it is very good. But yeah, so the final verdict, again, Lucid and Funded Next are the best. They're both beginner friendly, good for advanced traders. They have great rules, great pricing, all around the best firms. Tradeify has great accounts, honestly. I am kind of still debating whether to put it at S tier or keep it at A. I'm going to just keep it at A though, but it's a very solid firm. Apex 20 account rules, great. My Funded Futures, also great for both beginners and advanced. Just there's firms that are better than them. So these are all solid accounts. Top Step, again, it is beginner friendly. It is good for advanced traders. Decent priced, decent rules. Just there are better firms. And Alpha and Take Profit, there's nothing special about these firms. There's a lot of better accounts in them. The rules are not too good. So that wraps it up for the prop firm guide. This is all 2026, all the most popular prop firms. So if you guys did enjoy this video, please let me know by liking and commenting. And if you guys want a free trading community, join using the link in the bio. I'm gonna put it there. It's a completely free trading community. And yeah, so I hope you guys found this video helpful and decide which prop firm you would like to use, and good luck with your guys' futures trading journey. I will see you in the next video.